Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. First of all, I'll let you know what are the topics of the day, and later on we are going to see that topics from both prelims and mains point of view, and I'll be also letting you know how question can be framed in prelims, mains and interview point of view, and at last I'll be giving you some practice questions of prelims as well. So please do follow this video until last so that you'll be getting lots of insights regarding how you have to prepare current affairs for UPSC point of view. Okay, let us see the topics of the day. The first one is President's rule ends in Manipur. So here you have to see about this President's rule, which is a very important topic in your polity from GS paper 2. And next topic is there is one image about this Saros screen. If you're getting any kind of that images related to this animals or birds or insects, it is very important from UPSC. So here you may expect a prelims based question related to the Saros screen. And next topic is denotified tribes seek constitutional recognition, separate census entry. So this article is talking about denotified tribes. And you know that we are going to have census, right? In that census, there is a separate column for this denotified tribes. So you have to know certain facts regarding this denotified tribes and why in our upcoming census we are going to have a separate entry. Why these people are demanding and what. And this topic is important from polity point of view from GS paper 2. And next topic is cooperative cab service. Bharat taxis launched today. So this article is very important. As you all know that India is very good at this cooperative sector. Especially one successful cooperative is Amul, right? So here we are going to have even cooperative cab service in Delhi. And it is going to be launched today. And you may get a question regarding this Bharat taxis or else you may get a question regarding this cooperatives. And this topic is important from your GS paper to under governance, and even in your polity also you'll be studying about this cooperative societies. From that point of view also you have to see this. And next topic is Indian cities could see far higher temperature rise than projected, safe study. So this is a main topic. Here you have to see why there is going to be increased temperature in these cities. Here you have to see one concept called as urban heat islands, and you have to see what are the measures can be taken to reduce this impact of high temperature in these urban areas. And this topic is important from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology and as well as geography. And next article is the US trade deal gains from economic diplomacy. So already you know we are discussing about this topic from last 3 days. And next topic is issues surrounding UGC regulation. It is also an old topic. Okay, now see the title guys. Read out the title. President rule ends in Manipur. CM sworn in. So what is the keyword? Keyword is President's rule. Okay, to understand this, you have to see what is the issue which happened in Manipur. What is the issue in Manipur? Clash between which and which groups? Cookies and Metis. Okay, Manipur, especially not only Manipur, this North Indian states, they are very famous for these tribal communities. Why tribal communities? If you see geography of India, so here we have Himalayas, right? We have Trans Himalayas. Here we have Trans Himalayas, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Outer Himalayas or Sivalik. So here we have step by step 3 lines of Himalayas. In this Trans Himalayas we can see like very high mountains, and later on Greater Himalayas, next one will be Lesser Himalayas, next one will be Sivalik. So in this way we will be having this Himalayas. So actually whenever this Indo-Australian plate moved towards north and whenever it hit this Eurasian plate, first this part got touched with this Eurasian plate and later on this part had been bended like this. So here we can see this kind of extension of Himalayas. What are those called as? Yes, Purvanchal. And in this northeastern state we have this Purvanchal, and this Purvanchal are not that much height of this Himalayas. And on this hills we can see major tribal people, they are present. And in this northeastern region we can also see like very heavy rainfall because of this Bay of Bengal branch. And even because of these hills which are present in this area, that leads to funnel effect. I'll tell you one example. Can you please tell me which area is getting more rainfall in India? What is that area? In Meghalaya, what is that place called as? Cherrapunji and Mawsynram. Mawsynram and Cherrapunji are the areas which will receive heavy rainfall. Why these two areas receive more rainfall? What is the reason behind it? Due to funnel effect. What is funnel effect? We have three hills, Garo, Kasi and Jaintia hills. And here what happens? Here we have Bay of Bengal branch, right? So whenever Bay of Bengal branch is going like this, it will be hitting one hill. It will come like this. It will be hitting. It will be coming. In this way, because of this kind of hitting of this monsoon winds which happen between that hills, what happened? It will cause heavy rainfall in this region. So in this region only we have this Cherrapunji and Meghalaya. Because of this, they receive heaviest rainfall in India. Okay, so this kind of effect is called as funneling effect, and we get good rainfall. Good rainfall means good availability of water. So which kind of forest we can see in that area? Evergreen forest. So here this northeastern part is good with hills, good with rainfall, and even good with lush green forest. So because of this, mostly this tribal people, they will live on this hills. Because of this northeastern part is very much famous with this, for this tribal people. And especially if you come to this case of Manipur, we have two tribal groups. So communal issues which are going on in this Manipur, it is between Meiteis and Kuki. And if you see this community people, as I said, it is very good for hills. The people who are present on these hills, they are called as tribes. Okay, and the people who are living in this area, it is called as plain living people. The problem here is Kukis are living on this hills of the top of the hills, and this Meiteis or the communities, they are living in this plain region. The major problem in this northeastern region is influx of refugees from other countries. The people are coming from Myanmar, people are coming from Bangladesh, and which area they will occupy? They will occupy this valley region, right? So always as tribal people, they used to live on this hills or top of the hills, but this plains, they are occupied by the people who are coming from other areas. So what is the problem for this tribal people now? So if refugees are coming and if they are settling in this area, demographic changes can happen. Yes, and what happens? So these people, they come from other country, so that we can see other country people influence can be seen in Indian politics if elections are going on in this area. So these people will be impacting our elections, election agenda, everything. And if those people are getting citizenship and if they are included under this reserved category, again this people original rights of reservation will be getting affected. So because of this, we can see the conflicts between the different groups of people in northeastern region happens because of this thing. First one is demographic changes. Next one is there may be impact on elections and its agenda and other countries' influence in Indian politics. And next one is reservation category is getting affected. So because of this, always northeastern states, we can see insurgency, we can see this kind of communal clashes, everything is because of all these reasons. Okay. Now between this Kukis and Meiteis, why the issue is going on? What is the thing? What is the major reason? Reservation. Who are fighting for reservation? Who are asking for reservation? Meiteis are asking for reservation. Meiteis are like large group of people who are living in plains, and even the political things also, they are very good. But even though they are asking for further more reservation for this Meiteis. So because of this, the issue between Kukis and Meiteis is going on. And if you see last year, there were violent clashes, killing of people, bombs, everything happened. So because of this, there is no political stability in this Manipur. And what happened? Even CM resigned in Manipur in last year, February 2025. After resignation of CM, because of political instability, and state is not running according to this constitutional machinery. And who will give the report now? Governor of that state will be giving report to president. And what president will do? Impose president's rule. Okay, so this is the history of Manipur. Last year in February 2025, president's rule had been imposed in this Manipur because of this meaty cookie issue and resignation of chief minister. And finally, now we are in which year? February 2026. It has been 1 year under which Manipur was in president's rule, and now CM came. So here there is withdrawing of president's rule in Manipur. Have you got idea? So now you guys tell me, what is this president rule? Have you heard this word president's rule? Can you tell me other names of president's rule? Other names? Which emergency is it? Not national. 356. What is that? State emergency, and one more name. Come on. Other names of state emergency or president's rule. Come on, think. You know it. Okay, at least tell me articles related to president's rule. Okay, how many types of emergencies we have? 3 types. What are they? Article 352 talks about national emergency. If they are giving only emergency, that means it is national emergency. Okay, clear? And next you can add 4. 356, president's rule or state emergency or constitutional emergency. Not governance rule. Okay, it is president's rule, state emergency or constitutional emergency. So these are the 3 names for this article 356. And again you can add 4. Article 360. What is this? Yes, financial emergency. So these are the 3 emergencies. Now we are talking about this article 356, president's rule. Okay, now you guys tell me, when can we impose president's rule? Is there any criteria to be satisfied? What is that? Article 3? What is that 355 is about? Okay, if there is any instability in the state, army rebellions are next. Okay, so how can you get a question in this president's rule is, first one is they may ask you the criteria, and they may ask you about the process of imposition of president's rule, and next they may ask about duration. What is the duration of this president's rule? Come on, coming into the trap. What is the duration?
1 year minimum. After that,
Ah.
1 year. 1 year, no. After that, we can extend up to 3 years.
What is the minimum time?
Up to
6 months. After that, if you want to extend again 6 months, we have to pass it again. And the maximum time,
3 years.
how many years? 3 years. After 3 years also, if I want to impose this president's rule, what is the condition? Do we need any amendment? Think. Do we need any amendment? Think. Actually, I think this point is not there in Lakshmikant, I guess. If I'm not wrong, it is not there. So actually, if you want to extend more than 3 years, we can do Constitutional Amendment Act if we want to do beyond it. So there was one situation in India, we extended president's rule more than 3 years in state of Punjab. At that time, we made Constitutional Amendment. Okay, to extend 3 years. Okay, but you have to be very, very clear this time related to this president's rule. Okay, not only in Manipur, there is one more area where Government of India imposed president's rule this year, last year 2025. There is a very high chance, and you will be getting for sure confused with between this national emergency and president's rule. And now you guys tell me, do we impose financial emergency in our country? India is well known for this national emergency, especially during this Indira Gandhi period, and even this is the one of the article which had been misused many times. But till now, Article 360 had not been imposed in India. That means we can understand that India is financially good compared to the other countries. Okay, now let us see the facts. President's rule refers to the suspension of state government and its legislative assembly, and we place state under the direct control of central government. So why we are going to keep the state under the direct control of central government is if state is not functioning according to the constitution. We have constitution, right, which is like a guiding light. So all the states and as well as center has to run according to the constitution. If state is not running according to the constitution, then it is the role of the government. Government has a responsibility to ensure that states are running according to the constitution. For that only, there is a post called as governor. Governor, do we elect governor? No, right. But how governor is appointed? President will appoint governor. That means we can say that we have a central authority in the state. Right. So why the post of the governor is governor has to see whether the state is running according to the constitution or not. If state is running according to the constitution, it's okay. If state is not running according to the constitution, they will be writing a report that these and these problems are happening in the state. There is no law and order. It is against the constitution. Like that, they will be writing a report and they will be giving it to the president. And president will impose president's rule based on the report of the governor. That is a major role of the governor. Governor wants to ensure why post of governor is there means central government, the central authority will be there in Delhi. It is very difficult to see all these states, right? So they will be appointing one person in the state and that person responsibility is to check whether all the functions of the states are going according to the constitution or not. Okay. So here, which article is talking about it? Article 356 talks about this president's rule. And what is the basis of imposition of Article 356 is we have to know before article, that is Article 355. Article 355 mandates the central government to ensure that every state functions as per constitution. If any state, if it is not functioning according to the constitution, now governor will come into place and he will be writing a report and he will be sending that report to president. And president will be imposing this rule, president's rule. Okay. It is also known as state emergency or constitution emergency. If in your question, if it is just mentioning as emergency, then it will be national emergency. For president's rule or state emergency, they will give this word. Okay, don't confuse with this. And if you say the grounds for proclamation, president can impose president's rule if the situation arises where state government cannot function as per constitution. It is the only criteria. And next one will be it is done based on the recommendations of the governor. Not only recommendations of governor, even if president has any doubt that state is not running according to the constitution, president can also has a discretion to impose president's rule. These are the two important things that you have to remember. First one is on governor's report. Second one is president also has his own discretion. Okay, next one here is whenever we want to impose this president's rule, actually we need to pass this proclamation in the house. First one is the proclamation of this president's rule must be approved by the both houses. It should be passed in both Lok Sabha and as well as Rajya Sabha within 2 months. And next one here is if president rule is declared when the Lok Sabha is dissolved or if it is dissolved within 2 months without approving the proclamation, then it will remain valid until 30 days after Lok Sabha reconvenes, provided the Rajya Sabha approves it during the period. That means it is very simple. So how many sessions we have in the parliament? 3 sessions. Budget session, winter session and monsoon session. We have 3 sessions, right? So if houses are not in session, if president has to impose the rule, president imposed the rule, president's rule. At that time, within 2 months, we have to pass this in the houses. That is the meaning of this. So if houses are not in session, for example, tell me the months when we will be having session. February, March, April, May. Till this we have budget. After that, when we will be having this monsoon? July. If in between this, if government has to pass this, if president has to pass this president's rule, if house is not in session, will house meet for this only thing? For sure not. Right. Only at that time only they will be meeting. So they have to pass this within 2 months of time. And next one here is we have to approve that in both the houses, it has to pass with simple majority. What is simple majority? More than 50% of present and voting is called as simple majority. So how should pass this proclamation with simple majority in the both the houses? And if you see the duration, president's rule lasts for 6 months initially. And if it has to be extended, again this proclamation has to be passed in both houses. And the final time that we can extend it is 3 years. Till 3 years we can extend it. But if you want to extend it for 3 years, for every 6 months we have to pass a proclamation. For example, if president imposed now, for 6 months it will remain. And next, for next extension for 6 months, again he has to pass a proclamation. For 3 years, if you want to extend it for 3 years, for every 6 months they have to pass this proclamation. And next one here is one more condition which had been added by 44th Constitutional Amendment Act is if president rule has to be beyond 1 year. 1 year means yes, now imposed, 6 months completed, again for 6 months they again pass this proclamation. For the third time, if they want to pass a proclamation, the two conditions need to be satisfied. First one here is there should be national emergency in force. And next one here is election commission has to certify that elections in that state cannot be happened. So if these two conditions are satisfied, then only they can extend it beyond 1 year. Are you understanding? If yes, election commission gave the report that yes, election cannot be happen, means again they can pass proclamation, they can continue for 1.5 years, 2 years, like that. And if they want to extend this president rule beyond 3 years, they can do a constitutional amendment act. For example, in India we have 67th Constitutional Amendment Act and 68th Constitutional Amendment Act. They were enacted to extend president rule beyond 3 years in Punjab, during Punjab insurgency. At that time, we did Constitutional Amendment Act, we increased this president's rule beyond 3 years of time. Okay, clear? So these are the basics that you have to know about this president's rule. And if you want to have further more clarity, open your Lakshmikant and compare. Whenever you are reading your polity, compare center with state. Okay, and here we have national emergency and we have state emergency. We have to compare those two. And whenever you are writing your notes also, polity, you have to compare. For example, president, governor, prime minister, chief minister, state council of ministers, union council of ministers. So like that you have to make in this way, parliament and state legislature. If you are making this kind of notes, it will be very easy to revise and even you will be not getting confused in examination. Because most of the times what UPSC does is, if they are asking about the provisions of president, they will include provisions of governor there. Are you understanding? So if you are making a clear-cut notes with clear differentiation between union and state, then you can do that kind of questions without any confusion, without going wrong. So why students make lots of mistakes despite of this polity, which is very easy subject here, is they will be not having a clarity regarding which provision is it, whether it is central governments or state governments. So try to make notes in this way, okay, comparative way, then you can do good. Okay, say this. Have you seen this bird? Where? In Karnataka it is famous. What is the name of this? What is the height of this bird? Height. Huh? 2 feet? Only 2 feet?
6 feet.
So name of this bird is Sarus crane. If you want to say this, if you go to this Nehru Zoological Park also, you can see this bird. Okay. And the specialty of this bird is it is the tallest flying bird. Tallest flying bird. So which is the heaviest flying bird? Heaviest. It is not a flying bird. It is not a flying bird. Ostrich is not a flying. What is that name? Yeah. Yesterday also I gave that question. Great Indian Bustard. Okay, Great Indian Bustard is the heaviest flying bird and this is the tallest flying bird. Don't confuse between these two. And the name of this crane is Sarus crane. And we can see this bird in Southeast Asia, North India and North Australia. And in India we can see in Gangetic Plain, Rajasthan, and it is a state bird of UP. Okay, and actually the problem here is the population density is decreasing nowadays because of wetlands. We discussed about wetlands recently, conservation of wetlands, wetland day. On that day I said about tourism, is going to be affected. We are not going to attract more and more migratory birds, everything, right? So actually the number of this population is decreasing in India because of this quality of wetlands which is affecting badly. And we discussed what is this wetland. So what is a wetland according to this Ramsar Convention definition? Online students, tell me in the comment box. Come on. How many meters of depth of water can be considered as 6? If more than 6 means what can we call it as? It can be a lake or a pond. Okay, so if it is 6 meters or less than 6 meters, that water body is called as wetland. If it is more than that 6 meters, it can be called as lake or ponds. Okay, so here what is happening here is the wetlands like canals, marshes, ponds are affecting badly in our country. So because of this number is decreasing drastically. And the famous thing that you have to see about this bird is they are monogamous. What is monogamy?
Single.
Mono, single, gamy. Anthropology is gone. Very good. Gamous, gamy.
One spouse. Marriage.
A marriage. Okay. They are monogamous birds and they will have the pair mate for a life. If they are having a mate, they will continue that mate till their death. But humans nowadays, we are changing our mates, right? But these birds are not mating. We have to learn a lot from these birds. And next, nest are constructed on water in natural wetlands or flooded paddy fields. And next one is the lifespan of this bird is 30 to 40 years. And the height is around 152 to 156 centimeters. That's very height. And next one here is, if you see about this conservation status, it is listed as vulnerable, and under sites they are listed under Appendix 2, and in the Wildlife Protection Act it is under Schedule 4. Okay, yeah, see this next article. Denotified tribes seek constitutional recognition, separate census entry. Have you completed tribal revolts in modern history? Not yet? I thought that it was been completed. Okay, so what is the keyword here? Denotified tribes. What is the meaning of denotify? Just break down the word. Removing from notification. What is that notification is about? Tribes only. So actually if you go back to the history during the Britishers' time, Britishers brought railways into India. Right, at that time they started exploiting the forest for the timber. Who will be living in the forest? Tribal people. If someone outsiders are coming into your home and if they are plundering your wealth, will you be silent? We'll try to attack them, we'll try to beat them, we'll try to kill them. In the same way, these tribals also started killing this Britishers. They started attacking this tribe, Britishers. At that time, British, what they'll say? They are criminals. They are criminals. They don't know the way of life. They don't know how to talk. Always they will be beating, killing. So here British started them to call as criminals, and they are notified under the list of criminals. After that, they removed that people from that notified list. Now they are called as denotified tribes. Have you understood? Simple story. So here whenever Britishers are coming to their areas and whenever they started plundering their wealth, these people, they used to attack them. So here British, they call them as criminals and they listed as criminal list. They notified them as criminals. And after that, Britishers, they removed them from that names called as denotified tribes. Okay, if you see here the title, denotified tribes seek constitutional recognition, separate census entry. And actually many commissions, they did surveys related to this caste. And there are around more than 1200 denotified tribes in the country. So they are not getting proper status or advantages from this welfare schemes of government. And now we are going to have the census, right? And we are going to start listing of the people now. So in that, there is a separate column which is given for this denotified tribes, and based on their economic status and the social status, they are going to get this categories like ST, SC or OBC now. So because of this, they are going to be recognized now and they are going to be get benefited from this census. Okay, how can you expect a question here? You may get directly question related to denotified tribes. Consider the following statements related to denotified tribes. That is one expected question. And next one here is, you may also get a mains based question. Recently denotified tribes are going to get this constitution status. What are the advantages they are going to be get if they are included in this list of denotified tribes? Are you understanding? So here what you have to say is facts related to this denotified tribes, if possible, from your state, if there are any denotified tribes or not. Just check once in the Google and just make a note of that tribes in your state, not outside, because there are around 1200. You can't write all those names. I know you may ask me question like, man, how can I remember that 1200 tribes? Okay, I don't want to get into that thing. So just see whether there are any tribes in your state from this denotified list, because if you're writing any answer, you have to give substantiation, right? For that purpose, I'm telling. And next one is, you have to see why they are asking or demanding for the constitution status now, and what is the impact or what is the significance of this move. If you see that, then that will be enough. Okay. Okay, why it is in news now? If you see, denotified tribes, nomadic tribes and semi-nomadic tribes across our country, they are coming together to a push for a separate column for themselves. For this nomadic tribes, denotified tribes and semi-nomadic tribes, for all of those then, now we are going to have a separate column in our census 2027. And their demand is for constitutional recognition for this denotified tribes, and they are asking that see our economic status, see our social status, and try to place us in SC or ST or OBC list. So if they are getting this category, or if they are enlisted in separate census column, they are going to get this kind of classification soon. That will lead to empowerment of these groups, because tribals they are from economically backward community, and they are vulnerable societies in our thing, everything, right? So from historically also they are facing lots of problems. So to provide certain kind of empowerment, this kind of step is much necessary now in our country. And if you see here, why they are okay, first of all, let us see these denotified tribes. Denotified tribes are nothing but the communities once notified under Criminal Tribes Act by this Britishers, and later on, after we got independence, we removed them from that notification or notified list, and from then onwards they are called as denotified tribes. Okay, what are the reasons why they are asking now? The reasons behind the demands is over 7 decades, that means around 70 years, there are around 1200 denotified tribes in our country, and they are not getting the status of SC or ST or OBC. So because of this, what is happening here? They are educationally, socially, economically, they are excluded from our country. And actually we know that we need to achieve this Viksit Bharat by 2047. And always government is focusing on inclusive growth. If these people are not part of our policy, our governance or anything, can we achieve that status of inclusive growth? No. So that is one thing. And next one here is, till today also they are facing stigma in the society. And actually the name they got here is criminals. Have you seen this Jai Bhim movie? In that Jai Bhim movie, what happens? So he did that guy, he will be not doing that act, but he will be brought to the police station and he will be tortured, and he will be tortured to accept that kind of act, right? So even today also there is a stigma that if there is any crime is happening in that region, these denotified tribes are facing these consequences. Okay, so there is a threat of police because they are calling them as habitual offenders. And even that British period legacy of these criminals is still today is also continuing in that areas. So because of this, what is happening here? It is making this group of people still more vulnerable to this kind of negative things, threats, etc. Okay, so that is the thing here. And next one here is, even today also there are backwardness we can see. Some people are still nomadic, some people are semi-nomadic, and even there is no sub-classification of these people. Okay, so that is the reason why they are asking for this kind of demands. And next one here is, even though government is coming up with lots of schemes related to this SCs and STs, For example, we have PM Janman scheme for particularly vulnerable tribal groups, and even lots of developmental activities for this SCs and STs. And even MPLAT scheme also says that how much percentage of funds should be used for this SCs and STs. In yesterday's class we discussed. Come on, tell me. Come on. How much percentage of funds to be used? 15 for SCs, and for STs 7.5%. So even though if these people are not coming under category, will the development activities happens in their regions? No. So because of this, these people are asking for that kind of constitution safeguards. Now you people, now tell me, what is the impact of this step? Is that good or bad? What do you think? Good? How it is good? What kind of empowerment we can see in this STs now? Social empowerment. Okay, next. They will be getting access to education, access to employment opportunities, and better infrastructure. Right to health can be achieved. Right to education, Article 21A can be achieved. Next. Inclusive development of the country. Okay. Now let us see the next article. Read the title. Cooperative cab service. Bharat Taxis launched today. What is this cooperative sector, and which article in our constitution talks about cooperative sectors? Very good. Come on, polity is done. 90? Come on. Article 19. 19. Think once again. Kiran, tell me. Which article in our constitution talks about cooperative societies? 240? Think once. 243 comes under panchayats, right? Municipalities. Come on, think once again and tell me. Think. Polity. Manne కదా ఎగ్జామ్ రాసింది ఎన్ని రోజులైంది? గీత, అభిజ్ఞ చెప్. Read this cooperative societies clearly today. Take subclass C. Article 19(1)(c). Okay, so which is a famous cooperative society in India? Amul, right? From which state? Gujarat. Okay, Gujarat. So here, what is the use of cooperative society? Why we have to form that kind of cooperative societies? What is the need? What are the advantages? At least tell me that. Advantages of cooperative societies. Why this kind of cooperative societies are forming in India? Take Amul as example. Everyone knows Amul. Everyone eats Amul ice creams, Amul curd, Amul milk, cheese. Tell me, guys. Keep that in mind and tell me what are the advantages of cooperative societies. Development of. First one is we can provide livelihood for the people in that region. For example, as an individual, if I started any business startup, if my business is not going good, if I am in losses, is that good for me and economy of the country? No. If the group of people who are doing the same work, if they are forming the cooperative societies, then what happened? They can go for division of labor, division of work, and even they can attain the huge market, they can gain the huge market. And next one here is the burden on the individual will be less. And next one here is obviously that will leads to the increasing of the GDP of our country, and that will leads to overall development. And even if that so and so cooperative society become very famous, and if we started increasing more and more production of goods, we can also export to other countries. That's what they are doing. Interstate trade they are doing, international trade they are doing, and they are enhancing livelihood for many farmers. How many members are there in this Amul cooperative society? Come on, think, just guess. How many people are the part of this? Basic knowledge. If you are reading like this, it will become difficult. Huh?
36 lakh.
You can imagine 36 lakh people, they are the part of this one cooperative society. It is not like 10 members, 20 members, or hundreds. It reached lakhs. Okay, so here we can empower the people at large. Okay, see here, this article is saying that cooperative cab service called as Bharat Taxi launched today. So it is about cab services. Okay, now you guys tell me, if you want to book a cab, what will you do? Rapido, Ola, Uber. Okay, what is the problem with that? Okay, based on the peak time, price will be increased. Next, can we ensure safety by this private? Nowadays, they are going for live tracking location, but earlier. Uh, huh?
Internet problem.
Internet problem. Why? Internet problem, why? మిమ్మల్ని అడిగాను కదా. Okay, see here, our union home minister going to launch India's first cooperative based ride hailing platform. Okay, it is India's first ever cooperative based ride hailing platform. It is called as Bharat Taxi, and actually it is nothing but they are going to launch in Delhi actually, because in Delhi the problem here is transportation. Especially we have public transportation, we have private vehicles, a lot. But if you want to book an auto or if you want to book a cab, it will be very difficult, and we too face that problem a lot. And if you go for outsider, they will decoy you. So just 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers, they'll be charging 150, 200 like that. We also paid because of lack of time many a times to go from one place to another place in Delhi. So actually we are going to have a Bharat Taxi platform, and it is a government backed cooperative society, so that they will be having proper security for these people. And in this, they are going to take this cab drivers in this Delhi, and even they are going to have a collective ownership, transparency, and equitable income distribution. That means if you are part of this, so how many rides you did. Normally if you go for private kind of platforms like Uber and Ola, so based on your rights you will be getting money, but here the income will be shared between the people. Next one here is, it is implemented by Union Ministry of Cooperation. And the next, the key features of the first one is, it is managed by Sahakar Taxi Corporate Limited, and the initial capital for this platform is around 300 crore rupees. And it is backed by other cooperatives like Amul, IFSCO, NAFED, NABARD, like that. And here drivers are called as Sarthis, and they will become the shareholders rather than the contract workers. They will be not acting as the workers now under that platform. They are the shareholders of this platform. And next one here is, they also linked with DigiLocker, Umang, and API, so that what happened, there will be the identity verification can be done easily, and we can ensure at most safety and security for the passengers. And next one here is, there will be no sudden increasing of price. For example, if there is any rainfall outside, the cab price will be obviously increased. If there is any important event, then obviously the price of the cab will be increased. But in this kind of portal, there will be no sudden rise or decreasing of fares. So always the fares are regulated by the government itself. Okay. And what is significance here is, it is going to provide an entrepreneurship for this cab drivers in our country. And next one here is, it can ensure income security and as well as dignity of drivers. And they are not going to be contract workers under any platform. They are going to be the shareholders of this platform now. And that will increases fair competition as well as local ownership of the things for this cab drivers. Okay, see this next article, guys. Indian cities could see far higher temperature rise than projected, says study. What is this article talking about? Increasing of temperature in urban areas. So we can connect this concept with urban heat island. What is this urban heat island? Have you heard this word, urban heat island? Urban heat island. What is this? Online students, tell me what is this urban heat island? Okay, in cities there will be increasing of heat. Why there is increasing of heat in cities?
Pollution.
Okay, there is increased concrete buildings because of using of concrete. What happened? Have you ever kept your bare foot on this concrete, especially in the month of May after 1 p.m. or 2 p.m.? Can you keep your bare foot? You cannot, right? Why? Because there is more heat. So this cement will be absorbing more heat and it will retain more heat for the longer period of time. So actually what happens if you go to rural areas, during this 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. we can feel intense heat. But after 4:30 or 5 p.m. the temperature drops slowly and slowly and you will feel pleasant, right? But what happens in these urban areas is these concrete structures, they will be absorbing more heat and they will release heat very, very slowly. Even after 7 or 8 or sometimes 9 p.m. also, we will be absorbing that kind of heat. Have you ever faced this problem? Especially, you can compare with a thatched house and as well as this concrete house. So in thatched house, by evening time, by 5 or 6, you will feel cool if you enter into that home. But in this normally concrete house, even 7 also, you'll be feeling like some kind of suffocation, some kind of warmness, heat, irritation, everything, right? So that is the concept called as urban heat island. In urban areas, because of this increasing of concrete structures, big buildings and the roads which are made up of asphalt, so they will absorb more heat and they will retain that heat for a longer period of time. But because of this evenings also we can feel that kind of heat. So that concept is called as urban heat island. Now you guys tell me, what are the reasons for this urban heat island? First one is concrete structures. Apart from that, more vehicular pollution, global warming, greenhouse effect. Next, deforestation, uh, encroachment of wetlands. Okay, now you guys tell me, if you are a district collector in one city, okay, for example, if you are a municipal commissioner in one city and you got a report that in this summer, rather than normal temperature, there will be 4 degrees to 6 degrees high temperature is going to be recorded in your city. What kind of measures you can take so that you can save the lives of people and as well as lives of animals? Because not only humans, animals will be getting affected more, especially birds and as well as dogs and cattle, stray cattle. They'll not get even water properly. So because of this, the deaths of animals is also going to rise. And even because of increased temperature, there will be increased cases of sunstroke, dehydration related cases. So how can you manage this kind of situation? Anyone? Okay, afforestation, how? What is a technique? There is one technique of afforestation and it is a PYQ and they ask 2 times. What is the technique called as? Huh? Okay, that is not the technique. So, have you heard about this Miyawaki technique? Miyawaki is Japanese technique of afforestation that we borrowed and we are implementing in our country, especially in these urban areas. And it is PYQ also. If I'm not wrong, they asked question 2022. Recently, Miyawaki Syrian news what it is. It is Japan-based afforestation method. Okay. And next, Kiran, something you're telling. 3 is to 30 is to 300. What is a 3 is to 30 is to 300 method? 3 rows, 1 tree, 30 houses, 1 park, 300 houses. What is that? 300 houses. Next. See that? Yes, 3 is to 30 is to 300 formula we have to implement. Next. Any other measures we can take? Okay, we can promote cool paintings so that we can reduce the heat. Next, we have to arrange drinking water facilities on the roads. You can see free drinking water, big pots, free water, next, and even we need to have to provide first aid centers. Next, reduce vehicle transportation. How? Okay, we can promote public transport. Okay, public transportation facilities. Next, Singapore model. We can. What is the Singapore model? Okay, between the road. Already you can see in Hyderabad. Between the road, we can have good greenery. Next, think. You know all those things. You are seeing practically. Okay, regulations on vehicle. How can we do that, Sriman? Promote electric vehicles. Okay. Next. Okay, campaigns on using of government vehicles. Okay, public vehicles. Next. We have to give warnings for the people first of all. During this time, the peak temperature will be there. Don't come outside. You didn't get any updates like this to your mobiles. We'll get this kind of updates, right? It may rainfall, it may get rain. Recently, Hydra is providing messages related to traffic jam. Like that, you can also create one thing and you can give regular updates to your district people about the temperature of that day and peak timings of temperature. Next. Working schedule management. Okay. Using? Will you provide on free? With your money, Akash. Akash is going to provide ACs for everyone, which is free of cost. Greenery పెంచుకోమని చెప్పకుండా నువ్వు ఏసీస్ పెట్టుకొని చెప్తావు ఏంటి ఆకాష్. Okay guys, so you have to think like that, and here this article is saying that this year in especially some urban areas we are going to have more than 2 to 4 degrees centigrade of temperature. That means we have to incorporate the things based on it. Okay, and say this article, it is not at all a new article. We are discussing from last 3 to 4 days. It is about US trade deal. Just see what are the things that we discussed, like what is this deal about, how much percentage of tariff that we are going to get imposed by US now, 18%, right? And next we discussed about advantages for India, we discussed about advantages for US, and we discussed about what are the challenges. Every point we discussed. Just refer your notes once. And see this article guys, issues surrounding UGC regulations. What is this UGC regulations is about? To? Okay, SCSTs. What is that SCSTs is about? To decrease caste-based discrimination in this higher education institutions. Okay, why it is controversy? Why Supreme Court gave a stay now? They included only SC, ST, OBC. They ignored this general category. And general category people are saying that it is against which article? Right to equality, Article 14. The same thing which is given here, nothing more than that. So here earlier we had 2012 UGC rules to control caste-based discrimination in higher education, but they are not enough. So because of this, in 2026, our UGC came up with the new rules, but Supreme Court gave a stay on that new rules because in that UGC new regulations, they are defining discrimination as unfair, differential, or biased treatment against any stakeholders. Who are they? Students, faculty members, or staff on the grounds of religion, race, caste, gender, place of birth, disability, or any of them. And the controversy is they included caste-based discrimination. In that they included only SCs, ST, and OBC. And now the members of general and unreserved categories, they are saying that it is a biased statement. So here it is violating which article? Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. So because of this, it is not providing equality for all. It is violating this Article 14. If your fundamental rights are violated, what can you do? You can go to Supreme Court. Under which article? That happened here. So because of this, they gave the stay. Okay, this is not at all a new topic. Already we discussed everything. Yes, now see these questions guys and try to answer this. Consider the following statements regarding President's rule under Article 356. Yo, I didn't give the statements, huh? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 statements are there. First one is the proclamation of President's rule must be approved by both houses of Parliament within 2 months, failing which it lapses. Second one, it can be imposed only on the written recommendations of governor of the state. Third one, the maximum duration of President's rule even with parliamentary extension is 3 years. During President's rule, the state legislative assembly is automatically dissolved. Think once, and I'll tell you the second question. Consider the following statements about Sarus crane. First one is it is listed as vulnerable on IUCN Red List. Second one, it is a state bird of Uttar Pradesh. Third one is it is the tallest flying bird in the world. Fourth one is it is found only in India. Second one you can do easily, right? So it is not only seen in India, it is also seen in some other countries. So if you eliminate this, answer will be 1, 2 and 3 because it is a state bird of Uttar Pradesh. We know it is the tallest flying bird and it is vulnerable. Okay, see this question and tell me. Okay, online students, Spiders, I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching and please do like this class and share this class. And do subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy. And if you want to start your UPSC preparation, and already this UPSC notification is out. The students who want to apply, please apply. And every year the posts are decreasing. This year only 933 vacancies are there. Try to do it in your first or second attempt guys, or else the competition will be increased. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much guys. And if you want to start your GS foundation course, we are going to launch a new batch within 3 to 4 days and applications are going on. Please to join this course. And if you have any queries, please to contact us on this number 8074765513, or else you can directly visit our academy which is located in Ashok Nagar, Hyderabad, exactly above Vikas Book Center. Thank you so much guys.